I'm Tessa Mero. Thank you for having me here. I'm very excited. I had a power nap, about 30-minute power nap in the speaker's room, so I feel much better. It's always crazy. No matter how many times you travel to different time zones, you think you have it down and you're going to get it right, and then you're tired and end up taking too many naps throughout the day. So that was me, waking up at 3 a.m., like, oh, I'm ready for today. All right, so revolutionize your workflow with chatops. It's kind of designed as a mini workshop/session, so later on you can follow along the slides and actually make your own chatops tool. A quick summary and introduction. In case you're not familiar with DevOps, what is DevOps? What is chatops? Different chat tools you can use, bot frameworks that you can use for chatops, different case studies, and as an example, using Webex Teams for chatops, and run a Python script with a GitHub URL provided. So this is a good slide in case you follow along later on. You'll need Cisco Spark, which is also known as Cisco Webex Teams. You'll need Visual Studio Code, or your choice of an editor, and Python. So I'll first introduce you to what I do. I'm a developer advocate for Cisco DevNet. Cisco DevNet's a developer community. We have over 450 to 500,000 developers creating stuff on our APIs. We have probably maybe 120 different APIs. I just work on one. And the team that I'm on is Cisco Spark, which is now Cisco Webex Teams. So I'll use both words interchangeably. I was a teacher before I became a developer advocate, and I was teaching web application development for many years at a community college in Seattle. And I do a lot of mentoring for junior developers or developers who are looking for a new job. And I help motivate them and let them know that they're more valuable than they think they are. You know, imposter syndrome gets you sometimes, and you think, you know, everyone's smarter than you, when in fact they're highly capable. This picture is from a Brazil JavaScript conference. There was 2,000, I thought there was going to be like 50 people in my session. There was 2,000, so that was interesting. The most I've ever spoken in front of, by the way. I started out in the Joomla community and became a contributor. I started out with bug squashing, then I moved to the production leadership team, extensions directory team, and then I worked my way to the board of directors, managing the entire organization. And then I moved to the PHP organization and ran meetups and several conferences. And then now I set that aside and moved to the API community, and I run the meetup community in Seattle, Washington, in the US. And I also am launching our first conference in October. CFPs are open till May 31st, apicity.io. What is DevOps? I'm sure some of you are familiar with the term DevOps. For those that aren't, it'll help you realize where the word chatops got its name from. But first of all, we'll go over what DevOps is, so the rest makes more sense. DevOps helps remove barriers between teams, making coding more effective. It advocates automation and monitoring from integration, testing, releasing to deployment, as well as infrastructure management. It allows more dependable release in close alignment with business objectives. DevOps is the process of getting multiple teams who are involved in the software process to talk to each other. So as simple as development, code, and operations. This is the DevOps adoption in the last few years. It has been growing dramatically, and it'll soon hit the 85%, 90%. Who knows, 100%? I don't know. So reasons for DevOps. There are many reasons. Taking weeks of work into minutes of time. DevOps uses a better development process. You'll have faster production releases, more availability, especially in cloud infrastructures. There's more use in data center automation and more automated testing, and DevOps is becoming more of a best practice. So what if we can make DevOps processes more automated and easier? That's when chatops comes in handy. And some are already familiar with the term if you've already used it in your current processes, or if you went to that earlier session on chatops. So where did the term come from? The term chatops was created by GitHub back in 2013 by Jesse Newland, according to Google search, unless someone made it up on the internet. It's a way of collaborating, which connects teams, tools, and processes to create an automated and transparent workflow. Transparent as everyone can see different processes happening at the same time. The easiest way to understand chatops is a marriage between established DevOps practices and workplace instant messaging platforms. This combination increases DevOps flows, enhancing communication and transparency, and combining all the tools into one tool that you have. With chatops, you can set different rooms to have notification from different tools or APIs that you have integrated within it. So chatops allows a developer to do all their work in one place, or have all the information go to one place. With chatops, you can control the whole DevOps process using a chat tool. With commands, you can make a command to push information or receive information. Or you can set different rooms in your chat tool to receive notifications from the different integrations you have. I'm sure most of you are familiar with different collaboration tools. I call them collaboration tools or chat tools. There's, of course, the more popular Slack. There's HipChat. There's Cisco Webex Teams. That's about 1 month old in the brand name and about 3 years old for the product. It was formerly known as Cisco Spark. And of course, I have to mention it since I work for the team, of course. But I'm very anti-salesy and markety, so you'll never really see me trying to sell anything. Plus, it's free to use. So there are several pre-made chatops bots frameworks out there that you can use that's pre-installed and very easy to configure with all the basic chatops tools. I'm going to show you 3 very popular ones. There's the Hubot, and that's an open source platform written by GitHub using CoffeeScript on Node.js. And they also make it easier to deploy on Heroku. That's my favorite deployment service also. Lita is also free and open source and written in Ruby. So there's kind of like one for several different programming languages. Urbot is written in Python and built to be able to easily write plugins. It's also known for its huge community. And I'm sure there's a large community for different tools. I wouldn't say one is better than the other. It really depends on what your needs are and what you're building. So you have Chef, you have Puppet, Ansible for infrastructure automation, Jenkins for continuous integration and continuous delivery, Docker for deploying applications inside a software container, and Git for code revisioning. So you can take all of these tools and combine it all into your and integrate it all into your chat tool. So different examples of what you can do with it. You can have incident resolution, automating routine tasks, any kind of task you use. You can collaborate with multiple different teams based on different tasks for each integration, so you can really nail down the different access levels. You can onboard new employees and automate that process. You can create a new virtual machine with a command. You can create notifications for anything, and basically combining all your tools together. So the most known one that Cisco uses, we have our own DevOps tools. One of the most popular one is our help desk bot. And the Cisco Spark help desk bot is intended to give IT teams an active, real-time look into their own network. And the help desk bot is able to provide accurate information about a user on their network. So I ask on Twitter, I love asking for advice on Twitter. I believe everything everyone says on the internet, so that's where I get all my knowledge from. How do you use chatops within your company? We had one person say, we use HipChat to allow junior devs to label PRs in GitHub for review. And this is a very popular one. I have like 3 people respond with a similar one. We spin up new VM with simple bot commands. Another one is, I wrote a chat bot that lets us look up customer information. Chatops created a tool to allow reassigning and recreating dev VM. Over the past few days, I've written a serverless-based thing that will let you merge your own PRs from Slack. That was from a DevOps manager. We get information from our ticketing system using a Cisco Spark bot. If you haven't created a chatbot before, it's a similar process for every tool. They make it very easy on their developer portal to go through the process. As an example, I'll show you a quick way of creating a bot on Cisco Webex Teams. It's really weird to say that after I've been saying Cisco Spark for so many years. Feels like I'm like lying to you. Cisco Spark, Cisco Webex Teams. Cisco Webex Team. I'll just say it 50 times real quick and I'll remember it. So you create a new app by going to developer.webex.com. You log into your account or create an account, and then you click on your profile and click on your apps list. So on Slack and HipChat, and I think Discord has a different method, but they all have like a process, and you can find all the information on the documentation on how to create it, or even videos on YouTube. And you would click on the plus sign, or add new, and you have a choice between creating an integration from another API or creating a new bot. And then, of course, you'll fill in your bot information. What do you want to name it in the chat room, and a unique name to give it, like an email style. And then once you create your bot username, you can create a room in the tool that you're using, and then you can add your bot to the room. And of course, it's not going to do anything until you program it to do something. And that's what I'll be showing you next. So you'll make sure you have a conversation ready to go so you can test your bot with commands later to see if it works. So to find all the information about what to do next, you gotta love the API docs. If the docs are not well written or unclear, it wouldn't be, the best recommended API to use. So you'd want to click on Rooms on the left side on the docs area and find the API reference. The API reference is like the API dictionary. And in the back end, you can turn on test mode, which is like using Postman, but specifically for this API. And I'm sure a lot of you use Postman to forge API requests, which is a really great tool for testing quick things. And then you want to run and create your API request and copy your room ID. So once you have your room ID, you can take your next steps. If you see the information that is displayed in JSON format on the right, then your request was a success. And you want to copy that information, just the ID on the top line, to use later. Then you want to clone the code sample, the Python sample, and then type in these commands. And I'll go back and show you the link to access the slides, and I'll also post it on Twitter. And the shortened GitHub URL would be found here, tiny.cc/python-bot-cisco. So the next step, if you are using Visual Studio Code, you can run the Python file in a terminal. If you are new to VS Code, make sure you open the whole folder of files and not the file itself. It gets confusing when you use it for the first time. So that way you can get the option to run the Python file. So at this point, you should get an error. So you need to pass in a couple parameters to make your script work. Your room ID, your bot token, and a message to post. If you're getting an error, double check your token, double check your room ID, or try Python 3 instead of Python, depending how you have things set up. And I've seen even senior developers have their bot not work just by missing one little thing. So you have to just go back and keep redoing it and double check every part, even if you think you copied down your token correctly. You have to go back and double, triple check that. For the Spark_IT function, a post request is forged and sent to Cisco Spark, aka Cisco Webex Teams. Then the Python main loop simply loads the command line arguments and passes it through this function and checks the returned HTTP status code for any errors. Previously, we ran a code sample that passed the command line variables, including the bot access token. You can use a script to accept the access token, either command line parameters or by checking the Spark access token environment variables. And it's best practice to use secret keys, such as an API token, and to not have it hard-coded in your app. That's not a good practice to use. On the Explorer in VS Code, you can click on .vscode folder, and then you can paste your bot access token here to your bot access token on line 17 and line 25 on the script. So the highlights of the VS Code launch config file, it runs the currently selected file in VS Code's editor. It does not halt execution at the first line of code. It automatically passes in the R and M commands, and it also sets the Spark access token. And the environment variables on line 17 to 25. And then you have to hit F5 to run the debugger. So at this step, you should have a completed chatops script ran through your chatbot. You can leverage this script and send alerts from a monitoring tool, such as Nagios, to get real-time insights when issues are detected. For example, if your server is running out of space, you'll be sent an alert or a message in your chat tool. or you can set it up to call or send or do like a voice over IP and to give you information on that. So these are my favorite chatops resources that I found online. You have the all-in-one chatops resource, github.com, and then this xspark/awesome-chatops. It has practically everything that you need for information on working with chatops, with different tools, different programming languages that you're working with, and the Cisco Spark Python module wrapper for creating robust scripts. You can use this GitHub link if you want to work with that specifically. But I know everyone has their recommended tool that they use in their team. And what you can do, just list out all the tasks and processes that your team does and figure out how you can make more automation throughout everything. And it'll definitely save you a lot of time and a lot of company resources, and it'll make your team better. So thank you very much. You can find my slides at this link here, and you can contact me on Twitter anytime. I'm happy to always ask questions, especially about mentoring or helping you with career stuff, or if you're a college student, I'm happy to give resources on next steps. So thank you very much.